it's Mo. It is late in November. Everything I'm doing in November is late, but it is time for another Readathon recap. These are small little videos that I do after my reading wrap up. So every month I wrap up the books that I've read in a vlog style video. And after that video, I do this video, which is to talk about the readathons that I joined in October, and if there's prompts for those readathons, what prompts my books fell into, things like that. Another reason that I do these videos is because I have a big long running list of readathons that happen all throughout the year. It's divided by month, and then there are some other readathons that go longer than a month or are at different times during the year. They're all listed down below. If you know of any readathons to join, if you love readathons, if you have a readathon that you're doing yourself, please let me know in the comments below so I can add it to my big long running list. And I hope to post that list somewhere or do something with it now that the year is almost over so that it can be a resource not only for myself but for other people on BookTube as well. I always talk about new readathons that I've heard about, and then I also talk about the books. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter video because I am so late with it this month, but one readathon that's going on in November that I will not be participating in but sounds really awesome is Novelization November. So this is a time to read books that are novelizations of movies or franchises or whatever, or to read books that movies and franchises and things like that were based on. So like, I know there's a Jumanji book and it created a Jumanji movie, and then there were other Jumanji books, or the Star Wars novelizations. Anything you can think of, any genres you can think of. I'm not sure if this readathon has prompts, but I do think that it goes all November long. The next new readathon that I've recently heard about is Remember December. This is put on by a bunch of different people. Sandy at Miss Reads a Lot is one of the people, and this is a time to do rereads. There are some prompts for this. Reread a book you've basically forgotten. Reread a book to find out how you really feel about it. Reread a book in a different way. I definitely plan on joining in on this. It is a readathon that runs for the entire month of December, and I've already picked out 2 books that I want to reread in December, so I'm excited to get to those. Miss Reads a Lot and Criminale and Roy Reads Anything and a bunch of other people are also participating in the Read What You Own challenge. This is something that happens kind of every year towards the end of the year for the last 3 years. Criminale originally came up with this idea for himself, and then it kind of became a read-along, readathon, reading challenge for everyone to participate in. I participated in this last year, and this challenge is to read what you own before you buy new. So you pick a number of books, a level of books that you want to read off your own shelves before you buy new, and then you read as many books as that is until you complete the challenge. A lot of people are doing check-ins for this, and it is super fun, so I would highly recommend checking out one of those videos as well. So on to my October reading. For the October Savage Reads, I read Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This one was sort of a love story, sort of a coming of age, sort of a women's fiction, very queer. If you want to see more of my thoughts on this book or any of those books, you can watch my reading wrap up, but you can also watch my Savage Prompts vlog where I talk about all the books that I've been reading for the Savage Prompts. In the last vlog, I talk about Honey Girl and also the books that I read for September's prompt. I did complete my TBR spin book, but not in October. I actually completed it in November. I'm just going to mention it here and look out for a TBR spin vlog coming soon. I vlog all the TBR spin books as well. For October, I read The Bean Trees. I did read it a little bit late. This is by Barbara Kingsolver, and this is another coming of age, young woman, literary fiction or women's fiction book, and I also really enjoyed that. You won't see that in my wrap up for October, but you will see it in my wrap up for November. October is Victober, one of the mainstay readathons of BookTube, but I don't usually participate in that one because I don't usually like to read classics and I don't really often read Victorian literature, but this year I read 3 Victorian novels. I read The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. This is a very short novel, short story, novelette. I also read The Great God Pan by Arthur Machen. This is a sci-fi, dark, sinister tale written in 1890. I really enjoyed that one. It was my favorite of the three. And I also read The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This is a pretty famous, well-known, queer-coded book. You can check out more of my thoughts on all of those in my wrap-up. I participated in Gothtober, which is a readathon put on by Readathon and Olivia's Catastrophe, and I did have prompts for this. I played their Gothtober game, which I will list the video in which I play it down below. It was in one of my resets. It was super fun to play it, but I never went back and associated any of the books with any of the prompts, so I'll just tell you all the Gothic reads I read. I read Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. I loved that one. That might be like up there in one of my favorite books this year. I read The Picture of Dorian Gray. I read The Fall of the House of Usher. I read The Great God Pan. And then I also read The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. So those were all the Gothic reads I had in October. I also participated in Occult Detective October, which was put on by Roy Reads Anything and a few other people. And this was all about reading occult detectives. So detectives working on occult cases, people with occult natures being detectives, or amateur sleuths stumbling on occult mysteries. And I read the latter. I read The Lakeside Cemetery by Jessica Haas, and this fit perfectly for Occult Detective October. So those were all the readathons I participated in October. Let me know if you participated in any of the ones I did. Let me know what other readathons you participated in. There were so many in October. It's always hard to keep up. Make sure to let me know any of the readathons that you love if they're not listed down below, and check out that big long list to see what's coming up soon. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!